Imagine a city, Samarkand, jewel of the Silk Road. Its turquoise domes pierce the sky, markets overflow with silks, spices, and ideas. Scholars debate, merchants from Venice and Xi'an haggle in bustling squares. This is a center of civilization, a beacon of human achievement. The city hums with life, confident in its walls and reputation. It believes itself eternal. But on the horizon, a dust cloud rises. A lone rider, then another, then many more. The ground trembles. Not with an earthquake, but with the thunder of hooves. The Mongols have arrived. Forged in the harsh steppe, they bring the cold logic of survival. They are about to rewrite the history of this city, and the world. The people of Samarkand watch from their walls, seeing a sea of horsemen, hearing strange cries, feeling a primal fear. Silence falls, heavier than any sound. It is the silence before the storm. What happens here will echo across Eurasia, from the Pacific to Poland. The old world is about to die. This is a fulcrum of history, a clash of worlds. Settled versus nomadic, stone walls versus endless steppe. The slow machinery of empires meets the lightning-fast logic of the horse lords. The citizens of Samarkand could not have known it, but they stood on the edge of a new age, an age born in fire and blood, an age that would connect the world in unimaginable ways. The age of the Mongols. The silence is broken. The storm is about to begin. The fate of Samarkand is the fate of an era. The Mongols are not just conquerors, they are the harbingers of a new world. The city's walls, its culture, its very identity are about to be tested. The world holds its breath. The Mongols are at the gates. The age of isolation is ending. The world will never be the same. The storm breaks. This global upheaval began not with an emperor but with a boy, Temüjin. Born on the harsh Mongolian steppe, his world was one of struggle and shifting alliances. His father, a minor chieftain, was poisoned. His clan abandoned him and his family to die. Starving and hunted, Temüjin learned survival from the land itself. He hunted, fought, and read the intentions of others. Loyalty became his most precious currency. Unity, the only path to strength. He endured slavery, escaped, and began to gather followers, not by birthright but by charisma and will. He forged alliances, broke old tribal structures, and reorganized his people by merit. No longer Tatars or Merkits, they were Mongols, a nation forged in his image. In 1206, a great council proclaimed him Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. The boy left to die had become master of the steppe, but his ambitions reached beyond Mongolia. The skills honed in hardship, loyalty, tactics, logistics, unbending will, were unleashed on the world. The world had no idea what was coming. Temüjin's rise was not meteoric but relentless. He united warring tribes, built a new identity, and demanded loyalty above all. His leadership was pragmatic, ruthless, and visionary. He saw opportunity where others saw only survival. The Mongols became a force bound by discipline, not blood. Genghis Khan's vision was clear: unity, strength, and conquest. The steppe would no longer be isolated. The world beyond the horizon was within reach. The age of the Mongols was about to begin. From the ashes of hardship, a conqueror arose. The world would soon know his name. Genghis Khan, universal ruler. The steppe's greatest survivor would become its greatest conqueror. The fate of empires would be decided by a boy who refused to die. The storm was gathering. The world would never be the same. What made the Mongol army unstoppable? Not just numbers, a revolution in warfare. Every Mongol was a soldier, every soldier a horseman. They grew up in the saddle, firing arrows with deadly accuracy at full gallop. Their mobility was unmatched. The composite bow, small yet powerful, could pierce armor at a distance. Mongol archers unleashed storms of arrows, breaking enemy morale before battle began. Organization set them apart. Genghis Khan's decimal system, units of 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, made command efficient. Orders traveled swiftly by flags, horns, and whistling arrows. The Mongols fought as one, a disciplined organism. Their tactics, feigned retreats, ambushes, intelligence gathering, and psychological warfare. They mastered siegecraft, using engineers from conquered lands, surrender unconditionally or face annihilation. There was no middle ground. The Mongol army was a force of nature. Their discipline, speed, and terror tactics changed warfare forever. No city, no army was truly safe. The world's old defenses crumbled before them. The Mongols were not just conquerors, they were innovators of war. The storm swept on. The destruction unleashed by the Mongols was apocalyptic. Cities like Merv and Nishapur resisted and were erased. Chroniclers wrote of soldiers ordered to execute hundreds each, skulls piled into pyramids as warnings. Libraries burned, civilizations erased. In Baghdad, surrender was not enough. The caliph was trampled to death, the rivers ran black with ink and red with blood. The agricultural heartland of Mesopotamia was destroyed, never fully recovering. This was not random violence, it was calculated terror, a policy to break resistance, submit and be spared, resist and be annihilated. The reputation for brutality often did their work for them. Cities surrendered without a fight. The violence was a tool, brutally effective. For those who perished, it was simply the end of the world. The Mongols dismantled cultures, destroyed knowledge and unmade worlds. Their message was clear: defiance meant extinction. The terror they inspired reshaped the map of Eurasia. The cost was measured in millions of lives and lost civilizations. The Mongol conquest was a river of skulls, a sea of tears. But from this devastation, a new order would rise. The world was being remade, at a terrible price. The storm left scars that would never fully heal. Yet from this destruction, a new order emerged, the Pax Mongolica. The Mongols established stability across their vast domain. For the first time, a single power controlled the Silk Road from the Black Sea to the Pacific. Travel became safe, trade flourished. The Mongols valued commerce, taxing goods and protecting merchants. Roads, bridges and relay stations, the yam ensured safety and speed. Bandits were punished. A maiden could walk the empire with gold and not fear. Ideas, technologies and cultures flowed across Eurasia. Gunpowder, printing and the compass traveled west. Medicine and astronomy moved east. The Mongols practiced religious tolerance, employing administrators from every faith. Their capital, Karakorum, was a cosmopolitan hub. The world was shrinking, connected as never before. The Mongols were both destroyers and builders. The Pax Mongolica was their paradoxical gift. At the heart of Mongol power was the yam, a vast relay network. More than a postal service, it was the empire's nervous system. Stations every 30 miles offered fresh horses and supplies. Messengers with Pisa tablets could travel 200 miles a day. Orders and intelligence sped across continents in weeks, not months. The yam enabled rapid military response and tight imperial control. Merchants and travelers like Marco Polo used the system, making trade faster and safer. It was a state-subsidized infrastructure project on a continental scale. The yam was the internet of its day, transmitting messages, goods, ideas, and even diseases. The Mongols built the world's first information superhighway. Their empire was connected, efficient, and responsive. The speed of the yam changed the world. The arteries of empire pulsed with life and risk. The Mongol conquest destroyed old worlds, but created a new one. By breaking barriers, they forged the first truly globalized world. China, the Islamic world, and Europe were now directly connected. A merchant could travel from Venice to Beijing within one empire. This transformed culture and science. Kublai Khan, Genghis's grandson, ruled China as UN emperor, employing advisors from across Eurasia. Trade, art, and knowledge flourished. Chinese innovations reached Persia. Persian art absorbed Chinese styles. Foods, crops, and ideas spread continent-wide. The world became a tapestry of synthesis. The Mongols adopted and adapted local systems using Persian and Chinese officials. They established a universal law code, the Yasa, and a common passport, the Paisa. The Mongols were not just conquerors. They were administrators and connectors. Their infrastructure laid the groundwork for a connected world. The isolation of millennia was ending. The world was being woven together. The Mongol legacy was more than conquest, it was connection. The new world order was taking shape. The age of separation was over. How do we judge the Mongol Empire destroyers or unifiers? They killed millions, erased cities, and burned libraries. Yet from this violence came the Pax Mongolica, a century of peace and exchange. Technologies and ideas flowed, fueling the Renaissance and Age of Discovery. The Mongols practiced religious tolerance, spread knowledge, and governed sophisticated societies. Their legacy is a paradox creation through destruction. Even the Black Death traveled their trade routes, bringing catastrophe. The same highways that fostered prosperity also spread disaster. The Mongol story is not simple. It is a tale of brutality and innovation, destruction and creation. Their legacy is the interconnectedness of all things. The world they made was both wondrous and terrible. We still live in its shadow. How does history judge the Mongols? Monsters to some, bringers of order to others. The truth lies in the uncomfortable middle. They were both destroyers and creators. Their story forces us to question power, progress, and civilization itself. Is empire always violent? Can something new be built without destroying the old? The The Mongols were efficient, honest in their brutality, and forced the world to adapt. Their empire fractured, but their impact was permanent. They redrew the world's map, shifted power, and inspired new connections. The legacy of the Mongols is not just in ruins or trade goods, but in the questions they leave us. Questions about violence, innovation, and the price of unity. History is not a morality play, it is paradoxical and complex. The shadow of the Mongol horsemen still falls across our globalized world. We are in many ways still living in the world they made. The Mongols remind us, history's storms shape the world we inherit. Their legacy endures in every connection, every exchange, every question we ask. The age of the Mongols is over, but its echoes remain.